Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to Main Event Mondays. We got three articles we're going to cover today. Netanyahu's issues, Biden pandering to garner black support, and last but not least, we're going to be covering Julian Assange and his trial stuff going on over in the UK. But before we get into that, quick shout out from our sponsor. Moo owns Candle Time. Candle Time, we have 4 scents available, and we are making citronella. Citronella will be available soon just because we're coming into the summer months. So she's got 4 scents available. Lakeshore. These are all coming with wooden wicks. And they smell delicious. But yeah, there you go. You can see the wooden wick. Yeah. They're pretty good. So she's got Lakeshore, she's got Coconut, she's got Sea Breeze, and Peach. This is her favorite. So yeah, if you guys want to check that out, buycandletime.net. The link is in the description. She can also be found on Facebook at Candletime. So yeah, let's get into the news here real quick. So, don't want to be donating to the AP Press. Let's go. Frustration with Netanyahu boils over on plans for Gaza after Hamas. This is from The Hill, written by Lauren Kelly. So let's read a little bit of this. Frustration is growing in Israel with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's handling of the war against Hamas and his growing split with President Biden, raising fears that the public tensions could invite increased attacks from Iran and its proxies across the region. Apologize, guys. Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant is the most senior official to call out his premier, demanding that Netanyahu decide on a day after plan for the Gaza Strip after defeating Hamas. So let me get rid of that. He says, I call on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to make a decision and declare that Israel will not establish civilian control over the Gaza Strip, that Israel will not establish military governance in the Gaza Strip, and that governing alternative to Hamas in the Gaza Strip will be raised immediately. Gallant said in a rare, blunt remarks while commemorating Israel's Memorial Day on Wednesday. It is the second time Gallant has issued such a direct challenge to Netanyahu, having warned in March 23 that the Prime Minister's pursuit of widely controversial judicial reforms was threatening the security of the country. Division in the country at the time, some analysts say, fed into Hamas's calculation to launch its massive terrorist attack on October 7th. Gallant's latest remarks come at the same time 5 Israel soldiers were killed in friendly fire amid a renewal of Israel military operations in the north of Gaza against the reconstituted Hamas. He also pointed to the need for Israel's military to focus, focus on the fight with Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon, which has increased its intensity. An estimated 60,000 Israelis have been displaced from communities in the north. Israel can't handle staying in Gaza. It is a lot of effort, a lot of money, and a lot of death and casualties, said Naomi Nimoun, a visiting fellow at the Washington Institute for the Near East Policy and former head of the research unit at the Israel Security Agency, or Shin Bet, and with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We don't have a good solution, but to stay in the Gaza Strip, this is the worst thing that you can pick. Mind you that we also have another war in the north, so we need to focus there, where the danger is much higher, Neiman said. So you get the gist of it. Netanyahu's getting pressure not only from internal but external. The relationship between Biden and Netanyahu is definitely strained. This Hamas and Hezbollah in Israel conflict is definitely wearing on the Israelites. I had an interesting conversation over this past week about Israel and the conflict going on over there. And I've said it before on the show that I don't see beyond 20 years America having a appetite to fund Israel, which My basis is coming from the fact that younger Democrats, younger liberals, tend to side with the Muslims versus the Jewish. They view colonialism, that the Israel state is nothing but a form of colonialism. And then you have the people on the right, in libertarians who are not really on the right but get lumped in there. They also don't really. They're fractured. You have the hardcore right that is going to support Israel no matter what, but then you have another faction, about, I'd say half maybe. I don't have any polling to back that up. I'm just guesstimating around half of the people in libertarian and right don't actually want to be spending money, foreign money, on senseless things when we have so many issues going on at home. So my thought is within 20 years, as the older generation starts not participating in politics anymore and the newer generations do start participating more, that we're going to see a shift in our policy regarding foreign help for Israel. My stance has always been that I think Israel has a right to defend itself, and they need to be able to do it on their own. I don't necessarily agree with the funding, mainly because of the issues going on at home. We have too much economic issues, too much immigration issues, too much crime issues, too much drug issues. We have a lot of issues at home that we could be spending money internally fixing our infrastructure and securing our borders and hiring more facilitation on immigration, so that way we can actually utilize the laws that we have and not make people wait 10 years or 2 years. And we got a lot of work we got to get done internally, and I think our money would be better spent internally, fixing some of these issues. We're not the world police. I know we've kind of taken the role of securing trade lanes, which is completely fine. I think that definitely helps out the world, and it definitely helps out America. But at the same time, we can't be just focused on foreign policy. We need to also be looking at the interior and fixing our issues at home. The interesting part of the conversation that I was having was the gentleman I was speaking to was actually talking about it in a different way. We came to the same conclusion, but we came to it from a very different route, which is, I was saying support from America is going to dry up and funding is going to be lacking, and that's going to be the cause. He's saying it's just a numbers game, that there are too many enemies of Israel, and they produce at a higher rate or reproduce at a higher rate than Israel does itself, and it's just a numbers game, that the numbers are going to catch up to them. Which is an interesting take. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about that before, but I've been thinking about that a lot since that conversation. And it's a valid point. I think it's a very valid point. So there we go. There's our frustration with Netanyahu. So let's go to Biden. Ugh, I hate these ads, man. Biden appeals to black voters and says he's working towards an immediate ceasefire in Gaza during Morehouse commencement. God, he is looking bad. I'm sorry, Biden. I really wish you could get better help, and I really hope you lose, so that way you can look after yourself, because you are not looking good, buddy. So this is from CNN, written by Michael Williams and Donald Judd. So they write, President Joe Biden on Sunday addressed the war between Israel and Hamas while delivering a commencement address at Morehouse College, saying he's called for an immediate ceasefire to stop the fighting and bring the hostages home. Which is interesting, because he's basically sacrificed the American hostages. Yeah, whatever. Interesting. What's happening in Gaza and Israel is heartbreaking. Hamas's vicious attack on Israel, killing innocent lives and holding people hostage. Innocent Palestinians caught in the middle of all this. Men, women, and children killed or displaced and in desperate need of water, food, and medicine, the president said. He described the situation in Gaza as a humanitarian crisis. Well, you're not wrong, President Biden. You're not wrong in what you were saying right there. It is a humanitarian crisis, but it's also a terrorist act. So, you know, let's be more inclusive, I guess. The president then delivered a forceful call for a ceasefire paired with the release of hostages. He also urged a long-term political solution to the conflict. Biden said his administration has been working on a deal as we speak, saying officials were working around the clock to greatly increase humanitarian aid to Gaza. Biden's remarks came as some faculty and students at the college opposed the decision to allow him to address graduates because of his continued support for Israel. See, this goes back to what I was talking about with Netanyahu in the younger liberals not supporting Israel. The announcement last month that Biden will be delivering the Morehouse commencement sparked outrage from a portion of the school's faculty, prompting the school's provost to convene an open forum in late April to address those concerns. But even amid the controversy, the school has been steadfast that it will not rescind Biden's invitation, which was first extended to September before the war began. Excuse me. During Biden's speech, one student unfurled the Palestinian flags while others turned their seats away from him, but it was not clear whether the president was able to see those acts of protest. He delivered his speech without any noticeable interruption. Due to that backlash and in anticipation of protests, the White House last week sent Stephen Benjamin, the director of its Office of Public Engagement, to Morehouse to speak with some of the students. During a Thursday news briefing at the White House, Benjamin said that he and the students had a wide-ranging conversation, including the conflict in the Middle East. I think that what's going to be most important are the words that the president articulates, Benjamin said at the White House, and I know he feels very deeply about what this means to these young men. I am sure the president will have a chance to engage with faculty, students, staff, and students while he's there, he added, and I know he looks forward to it. So, over the last several months, Biden has largely shied away from addressing large crowds of young people on college campuses, a change that came shortly after his January remarks on abortion against rights at Virginia's George Mason University were interrupted more than a dozen times by protesters outraged at his continued support for Israel in its war in Gaza. Yeah, we can stop there on this one. This is again a very pointed sign that we're changing our foreign policy beliefs, and as the older generations age out and the newer generations ages in, I don't see how Israel is going to get the support from America once used to rely on quite heavily. It is also very telling that Biden is what I don't understand is it says appeals to black voters and says he's working. So how is this appealing to black voters? Appealing to him. I don't get it. Like this is all about Israel and Gaza. Yeah. I wonder if it's just a clickbait title, more than likely. So let's go ahead and move on to Julian Assange. This guy's I hope everybody knows who Julian Assange is. He's the WikiLeaks founder. Julian Assange facing pivotal moment in the long fight to stay out of the U.S. court. This is one thing I think if Trump does win, if he were to pardon Julian Assange, I think this would be a very cementing moment for his presidency. I don't think Biden will ever do it. It'd be interesting if Biden did do it because I think he would actually attract a lot of voters back to him just for doing this, but I highly doubt he would do it. Trump, I'd be a little bit more optimistic that would do it, but he had 4 years to accomplish it, and he never did. So I don't necessarily know if he'll do it, but I think it'd be a really cementing moment for his presidency. We'll see. Okay, so this is by Brian Melly from AP. The host of a news conference about WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange extradition fight, Riley. Excuse me. Welcomed journalists last week to the millionth press briefing on this course. Riley. Welcomed. Okay, sorry. Deborah Bonetti, director of the Foreign Press Association, was only half joking. Assange's legal saga has dragged on for well over a decade, but it could come to an end in the UK as soon as Monday. Assange faces a hearing in London's High Court that could end with him being sent to the US to face espionage charges or provide him another chance to appeal his extradition. The outcome will depend on how much weight judges give to reassurances U.S. officials have provided that Assange's right won't be trampled if he goes on trial, which is interesting. I don't trust the Biden DOJ to actually not just lock him up and throw him away. They are not happy with him. Assange, who is 52, an Australian computer expert, has been indicted in the U.S. on 18 charges over WikiLeaks' publication of hundreds of thousands of classified documents in 2010. Prosecutors say he conspired with U.S. Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning. That's right, because he transitioned to a woman, and I think he's living in Moscow or Russia right now, isn't he? Or her? She? Sorry, she. He? Isn't Chelsea Manning living in Russia? Here, screw the pronouns. We'll just use the name. Isn't Chelsea living in Russia? I'm pretty sure. If you guys know for sure, drop it in the comments. Let's just clarify that. To hack into a Pentagon computer and release secret documents, secret diplomatic cables, and military files on the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He faces 17 counts of espionage and 1 charge of computer misuse. If convicted, his lawyers say he could receive a prison term of up to 175 years, though American authorities have said any sentence is likely to be much lower. Assange and his supporters argue that he acted as a journalist to expose U.S. military wrongdoing and is protected under the press freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Interesting. I have heard that argument before, and I'm not 100% sure it applies if you engage in illegal activities in order to gain the information. I'm not 100% sure I agree with this. I do agree with the outcome of what he did. I'm just not sure that there is a legal premise for what they're arguing here. Among the files published by WikiLeaks was video of a 2007 Apache helicopter attack by American forces in Baghdad that killed 11 people, including 2 Reuters journalists. Julian has been indicted for receiving, possessing, and communicating information to the public of evidence of war crimes committed by the U.S. government. His wife, Stella Assange, said, "Reporting a crime is never a crime." So this is the argument that I wish to believe is accurate, because if that's true, if he just received it and had it and then communicated it out, he did not commit any crime, which makes him protected under the First Amendment. However, I've also read communication or things that have said that they were in communication in order to uncover what information they should get. So either I don't know which one's more accurate or not. I'm pretty sure this one's more accurate. Excuse me. Pretty sure this one's. Oh, excuse me. This one's more accurate, and if this is the case, then I would agree with it. But like I said, I'm just not sure, so I'm not weighing in my opinion. U.S. lawyers say Assange is guilty of trying to hack the Pentagon computer, and that WikiLeaks publications created a grave and imminent risk to the U.S. intelligence sources in Afghanistan and Iraq. See, he was guilty of trying to hack. Like I said, I don't know which one is which. Why the case has dragged on so long? While the U.S. criminal case against Assange was only unsealed in 2019, his freedom has been restricted for a dozen years. Assange took refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy in London in 2012 and was granted political asylum after courts in England ruled that should he be extradited to Sweden as part of a rape investigation in the Scandinavian country. He was arrested by British police after Ecuador's government withdrew his asylum status in 2019 and then jailed for skipping bail when he first took shelter inside the embassy. Although Sweden eventually dropped its sex crimes investigation because so much time had elapsed, Assange has remained in London's high-security Belmarsh prison while the extradition battle with the U.S. continues. His wife said his mental and physical health have deteriorated behind bars. He's fighting to survive, and that's a daily battle, she said. So there's kind of a breakdown on that. Going to be interesting to see what happens with him. If he gets to continue his fight against extradition, or if he's going to get extradited to the U.S. and then see how it happens there. We're going to get obviously more information coming out. I am very curious as to how it's going to happen. I also am curious about Chelsea Manning and how all that's playing out, because I'm pretty sure that Chelsea's still over in Russia hiding out from the U.S. government, just because while they uncovered or showcase the crimes that the U.S. was committing, they definitely went about it doing maybe in an illegal way. So I don't know. I'm glad they did it. Just not 100% sure if it was legal. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Just quick updates. Void is still working on his albums. I'm not sure when he's going to be joining us again. Let's see. Moo is with me today, but she decided she did not want to film today, which is fine. My youngest son and I were supposed to be leaving this next Friday. We bumped our flight back 2 weeks, so our vacation is actually going to be 2 weeks from now. So we'll be returning on Father's Day. I might go live the morning of Father's Day while we're out of the country and give everyone a happy Father's Day and shout out. We're also going to be gone the Sunday that we typically record. I'm possibly going to be bringing some of my equipment with me so I can record down there, so that way we don't have a gap. If not, we will not have any videos that week. I might just upload some shorts for that week. Let's see. What else do we got going on? I think that's it. We're at 313 subscribers now, so shout out. Hats off to everyone that's subscribed. We want to get up to 500 as soon as possible. I'd really appreciate getting up there. And then we also want to we're on the road to 500, and then we'll be on the road to 1,000. I want to get up to 1,000, guys. We've been doing this for almost a year. We're about a month out from a year. So in 11 months, we got 313 subscribers. Hats off. Thanks. We got a lot of views, a lot of watches. You guys are obviously finding something entertaining about this, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. And if you guys want to see something else, something change, you drop it in the comments. Let's get these comments going. Talk about what's going on in the world. Let's open up the communication. If I see the comments, we'll I'd love to turn Fridays into a comment day. Where you guys write all your comments when we go, and then I give my thoughts on what you guys are saying, or just open up the conversation. So let's get this rolling. Shout out to our sponsor, Candle Time. Again, buy candletime.net. Links in the description. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.